Hi, in this video we will start to create the structure of a P&L report. Mainly the P&L can have many forms, but globally there are a few reports template that you can find. We will talk in this video about many options or many ways to create and to structure a P&L. So after we have obtained from the accounting or from the finance team all these transactions and account numbers, then we made the statement mapping, and the last step is to create a P&L structure. Here I have modified the name of the category of depreciation, and instead of depreciation and amortization I have wrote it the D&A. It's simple and it's short. Also we can do for operational costs, we can put only op costs, because there are many different ways of those categories. We can find op costs, operating costs, operating expenses, and so on. The main idea is that the level of operational is the first in terms of costs, after the gross margin, because when we will see that in the P&L we have the first level, which is the big, let's say the big figure is the net sales, the revenue, and we will start to structure the P&L by this amount, and we will see here net sales is the first level. Next one, from our transactions we have also cost of goods, meaning that when we completed those sales we had some costs in order to complete the sales. So the first cost in the process of sales, it's the costs of goods sold. We have COGS. Then the first level is the sum of them. We will try to keep the costs with minus, and also the revenue will be with plus. That's why when we will make the first sum we have the gross margin or also gross profit. So we will try to make the same step into other template. For example, here we have revenues, then we have COGS, this is most common name, but then we can have gross profit. This will be version 1 and this will be version 2. Now we can try to continue and put the first sum. Okay, so this will be equal with sum of D5 and D6. Copy the formula and here we go. Good. The next level, we start with operating expenses. We can find in different ways. In our case we will take the op costs, let's say op costs, but no D&A, so without. So here we have the operation cost, but we will exclude the D&A. Depreciation and amortization are for us the next segment. Here we can have the first line, which is operating expenses, and this is the first level. Let's try to make in the same step. Here we have the first indicator, which is the Ebitda, which basically is the earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. That's why it's the biggest, let's say, profit level. Here we'll have the sum of gross margin and operational costs. So this is the next level. Here we can have, in some cases, we can find the contributive margin, and this mainly is the same situation, but it refers to the costs from the level of our employees which are direct into the process of sales. So after we will have this sum, we will find the first result. It's contributive margin, or Ebitda. Next we have D&A, which are our costs with depreciation and amortization. And then we have the first profit, earnings before interest and taxes. Here we can have support costs, or you can find like support, general and administrative costs, and then you will have the operating result, which is near EBIT. So here we have the sum from Ebitda and D&A, and we can copy and paste the formula. Good. Now it's important to know that D&A represents mainly the same category, the same costs, but the term of this process can refer to different things. Into the details, if we'll step, you'll find that amortization, it's for intangible assets, and the depreciation term, it's used when you have tangible assets. So this is the main difference between them, and that's why some companies use only D and others use only A. You know, it depends, because many of companies worldwide use D and A. Good. Going forward, we'll see that we have another category here. It's financial costs, or finance expenses, or it can be searched into different terms. But for us, first we'll have interest and taxes, and here we will have the final cost, and into the last row we will have net profit or net income. Here you can have the first line, which is interest, and then you can have the next step of the version 2 P&L, which can be the result, the final result, net result, before taxes. And finally, after taxes, you can have the net profit. And here we have the main structure. Here is the other structure that can be also found into the worldwide finance. So we have the gross margin, Ebitda, EBIT, and net income. And here you can find operating expenses divided separately, introducing support costs, which are basically, in our case, the support costs, and operating, here we have an error, and operating expenses are into these operational costs. But we also exclude the D&A in order to present you the main P&L format, because it's important to know the difference between Ebitda and EBIT. Now that we have the main two formats of a P&L globally, for sure you will find also others, but mainly if you'll deal with this, it's okay. Good. We will go forward, and here we'll have the P&L, and we will try to create a separate sheet and put P&L. Here on C5, as we saw earlier, we have net sales, COGS, gross margin. So we will try to copy this, okay, and start play with it. In the next video, we will try to populate this P&L with figures from our database. But to summary, we have the net sales, so the biggest level for our revenues. Then we have COGS, and the result of them is gross margin. Next, we have the operating costs, which will bring us to the Ebitda. Then we have some cost with depreciation and amortization, which will bring us to the EBIT. And finally, we can start to play with the next and the last level, which is linked to interest and taxes. And here we can write finance or financial costs. Because sometimes, as you can see earlier, that we have interest, then we have taxes after the next level. But for us, it's more simple and it's easy to use this one. And we will write here net profit. So this will be our main structure, and we will play with this.